You know, nature is so powerful that if you let it recover and you nurture it just a little bit, it's marvelous. Nature regenerates by its own accord, and if we just help it along and nurture it a little bit, partnered with nature, we can do amazing things. Well, we were in the restaurant business in San Francisco, in the Bay Area. I'm not a city person, but I'd lived in the city for 8 years, and I was ready to get to the country again because that's where I grew up. We bought a farm that was close enough to our businesses, and we could get our produce to our restaurants, and we just started. We just said, okay, time to do this. Eighth grade, which is 1970, I talked my 8th grade teacher into taking us to Alaska. And I saw all these people living off the grid, catching their own food, hunting their own food, living in log cabins, and I thought, wow, I like that. Everyone has a connection to nature. So everyone gets that nature provides something for our psychology. And then the idea of working with nature, that's kind of the next step. Like, wow, what if with my hands I could work with nature to produce something, to be productive, to something that would feed people? Like, wow, that's a pretty provocative proposition. We've kind of become an agricultural park, so people can come buy some local food, which they want, and they connect with that. And they can also take their grandchildren for a walk and to see something real, something authentic. Consider Be-Love Farm a resource. We have a lot going on here, from classes to events, Blackberry Festival, Apple Festival, farm store open, farm stay, sourdough bread classes. So I want people to consider it a resource for Solano County. There's not many farms in the United States that are as diverse as Be-Love Farm. You know, I won't say one of a kind, but I think it's a really cool model. What's growing now is we're harvesting figs and peaches and all kinds of vegetables, watermelons and melons and tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers. What's coming next is olives and walnuts and pecans and almonds. We're just starting to pick almonds, and persimmons are coming, and pomegranates. Then we'll be into the cooler season crops like broccoli and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts and kale. We go into the winter and we go into our greenhouse and we have all kinds of greens and lettuces and arugula and beets and carrots, and then we move into spring and it starts all over again with the first fruit of the year is mulberries. You know, bringing more life to life, walking around your farm and seeing nature alive and well, not suppressed and kind of struggling, but alive and well and burgeoning. There's nothing greater and more fulfilling than bringing more life to life. Just none. I can see that nature is under siege. I think that it's time for many of us to be on the right side of history. We have to learn to grow our food differently. Plowing or tilling is the most destructive thing that human beings do. It destroys the soil ecology. It destroys the home of the microbes that build soil, create fertility, feed plants. And there's a few principles to regenerative agriculture, and one of them is minimal disturbance. How do we grow food without and keeping the soil ecology as intact as possible? So the soil here has obviously improved because we acknowledge it as an ecosystem that needs to be fed, that needs to maturate, that needs to do its own thing, and it's working.